Hello, everyone, and welcome to Full Attention, a twisted narrative actual play in the world of Blades in the Dark. My name is Kristian, and I will be the game master for this evening's entertainment. There are no heroes in Doskvol. No one comes to save the day. The rich stay rich and the poor stay poor. It's one of the many reasons that gang activity is rife in Doskvol. People flock for protection. Some even portray themselves as heroes, but lift the covers and the hive of dodgy and suspicious activity is right there underneath. But what about the children? What about those whose trust in adults is gone? Where do they go? What happens to the lost boys and girls of Doskvol? Well, finding out tonight are our wonderful players, the 4 returning faces that hopefully are familiar to you all now. Sarah, would you like to introduce yourself? And Grimlyn, please.
Yes, good evening. So I'm playing Grimlyn, reprising the character of what I've really recently realised sounds a lot like a sort of Mary Poppins if she had a really rough day. In as much as she has a very long skirt, tight waistcoat and shawl, and a tatty straw bow to hat, with long dark hair in a simple plait down her back.
Very good. Unfortunately, there aren't many birds for you to feed. Next, we go to Kyle and Vixen.
Greetings and salutations, one and all. My name's Kyle, and tonight I'll be playing Avis, or more commonly known Vixen, once again. Known for her long waistcoat and a flat cap she often tucks her hair up into. Stands around 5'8" with blue eyes and the occasional strand of dirty blonde hair poking out from that cap.
Very good, thank you. Next, Rachel and Jellybean.
Yep, so I'll be playing once again Jellica, or Jellybean as she goes by when she's being in a gang and not at home in her very rich, well-to-do house with her rich, well-to-do parents. She's a small, very young child with very cute-looking blonde hair, ringlets, and very luxurious, pretty dresses, velvet and lots of lace, which rather is disarming when then she pulls out the knife and threatens you. So always fun.
Thank you very much, Rachel. And finally, Andy and Barkin Larkin.
Yep, once again, I am very excited to be playing Barkin Larkin.
Oh, your mic's up.
Once again, I am a professional. I will be playing Barkin Larkin tonight, and I'm very excited for this. He is perhaps in his mid-30s, but he looks perhaps a good 20 years older than that. He's been on the streets for most of his life. He currently wears a very long, heavy coat, fingerless gloves, a tatty scarf, and a battered hat, revealing very little of the man he really looks like. His fingers are stained with ink and tobacco, and he's seen a little too much of the other side of Doskvol. That is Barkin Larkin.
Very good, very good. Thank you very much. Well, last time, the gang, the nameless gang, until you give yourselves a name, unless the nameless gang is the name you wish to stick with. But you gained turf in the old reliable inn, and yes, Ulf Ironborn suffered because of it. But, well, he's just a tier 1 gang and no one cares about them. Although you are tier 0 at the moment, so let's see how we get on there. But you were sent a message. The lost boys and girls are watching. And that is where you find yourselves a few days later in the war room at the Apollo Theatre with your trusty friend, mentor, confidant, or just the person that helps keeps the lights on, Sark. He's standing at the table with a map of Doskvol in front of it, and he's looking at various pins he's put in this map, and he says, when you all approach, hello, friends. Well, I've been thinking over this message we got. Lost boys and girls are watching. Now, there's a number of things we could do here, and it all depends on how you want to do it. You could, if you want, deal another blow to the lost boys and girls. Really hit them where it hurts. Find some of their turf. Take it down. Steal something of theirs. Or you could do something nice to get them on the side. Because it seems they've got a vendetta against us. And that's not good for business in the long run. Unless we can put them out of business. Or dissuade them somehow. We do, also admittedly, need to expand our operation. We need more turf. There's an infirmary I've got my eye on in Crowsfoot that could help us. Also, there's some lookouts that might be useful in the future. We could also do with some coin, to be honest. The more money we've got, the easier the wheels are greased of commerce in this city, if you know what I mean. So, we could either get new turf, we could get some coin, we could help the lost boys and girls, or we could hinder them. What do you think?
We have been quite antagonistic towards them so far. I think we'd be starting at quite a negative. Plus, they are filthy little kids.
We hold the deed. That's potential leverage. I don't think we're ever going to be friends, but having them off our back rather than worrying about our every move is perhaps more beneficial. Our first blow failed to wipe them off the mat, so unfortunately I think children are rather resilient and it would take quite a lot to do that.
Doesn't mean we shouldn't try.
Oh, so you want to try and... You're saying you want to use their deed and use it against them. Hit them where it hurts, right at their HQ.
Well, it sounded like Vixen wanted to use it to encourage them to be more friendly rather than to hurt them, but they would probably take it negatively, I suppose.
Not if we gave them a gift.
What kind of a gift, though?
Well, I mean...
It's too generous.
Well, you don't have to be too generous, but there's one gift here everyone likes, and that's coin.
We, as ascertained, do not have enough coin of our own. Unless you've got a job you think could be joint.
I've got a job. I don't know if they're going for it at the same time. I don't think they would be. But it's definitely in your wheelhouse. But again, it's up to you what you want to do. If you want a job to get some coin to give to them, that will help grease the wheel, as I was saying. It will make sure that they know that you're willing to be friendlier towards them. They're going to want their deed back, though. Sorry, Barkin.
What about every other gang in Doskville? Oh, they're going to look at us and they're going to go, look at those mugs. The lost boys and girls sent them a little note and now they've rolled over and started giving them coins.
Well, indeed, Barkin. Let's go and blow up their hideout. Oh no, we own the deed. Let's not.
Why don't we go and earn some coin and use the coin to get some muscle to get them out of the property that we have the deed for?
We did get some muscle as well last time. I think we'd still probably have to pay them, but we have some potential.
You have some you remember the two gentlemen, and again, I use the term really loosely, that were members of Ulf Ironborn's gang. But yes, you remember them, and that they weren't the most effective gentlemen, having just defected. They are still hanging around the old reliable pub, though. They're kind of your representatives there.
Perhaps we can knock all of these out. Go do the job for some coin. Move in to the orphanage as a rather strong statement, as we have the deed.
Oh, you don't do things by halves, do you, Vixen? I knew I
like
liked
it.
you. Yeah. Yeah. Right. So, the job then, if you want money.
Money will help.
Well, from what I know, it pays a good amount of coin as well. 6 coin. Which probably means it comes with its own level of risk. Now, some of my old pals have let me know that the blue coats have got a job. Now, if the blue coats have got a job, that means it's generally going to be pretty under the table. You'll get your money. I ain't going to screw you out of it, but you're going to have to be careful with this one.
They were
So-
going to kidnap me, and they regretted it.
I'm sure they did. I'm sure they did. But don't think that all blue coats are the same. These ones are ones based in Crowsfoot. Now, it would seem that the blue coats want to make an arrest. Well, the inspector wants them to make an arrest. And some of the local lads in Crowsfoot, well, that's it, they think quite fondly of you. Or at least they don't hate you completely, which is generally thinking quite fondly of you in this town. They would like the evidence that's currently sitting in the inspector's safe in the nick to be removed and destroyed.
How helpful is he willing to be? If it's his
Well,
nick.
The inspector's not willing to be helpful in the slightest. The inspector wants the arrest to happen. He's in fact insisting. However, a number of young bluecoats that were going to make the arrest do not think it should be wise that they do it for their ongoing health. As in, they'd like to have some.
Is there enough support that we would be looking at their stronghold perhaps being able to be vacated for a quarter of an hour for a pulled fire alarm or some kind of drill?
Well, they're often in and out. The trouble is, the inspector, Eugene Whitlock, is never out. He's always in there. It's up to you to find some way to get him out, and any other unsuspecting bluecoats who might not be in on this one, but probably equally don't want to die at the hands of, well, whoever it is that they're going to arrest.
So we don't know who the evidence is targeting.
Well, I don't know, but I mean, you're the gang. You find out.
My money be on the bill hooks, given how much they don't want to.
Well, yeah. I mean, no one wants to arrest a billock. That'll get you in trouble. But no, these gentlemen I spoke to, they were proper spooked. They were.
Or maybe it's a lead into an Electric Six member.
Oh, God, I don't want to see them popping up.
Mine
Those
too.
Eclectic Six are a bunch of secret society weirdos. We've got enough of those in Doskvod already. We don't need another one. Thank you very much.
How do you know they're secret?
How do I know their secret?
How do I know? Comma, their secret.
Oh, right. Sorry. It's me old ears. Sorry. Well, you make a good point there, Jellybean. I'll have to take that one away and think about it.
Well, I'm just wondering if perhaps the inspector would pay even more so that the arrest did go ahead.
So you try and convince the Bluecoats to actually go and do the arrest.
Or we make it arrestable.
Oh, I guess that would depend on who it was they were trying to do. I guess that's one thing you could find out and you gather information when you're trying to figure out what's going on.
There's also, the target of this, whether there's any leverage there, whether they are powerful enough, or the organisation or faction they're working for is powerful enough to protect them, or whether we can tip them off or go against them, really. There's a number of different angles until we find out, I guess,
indeed.
and gather that information. But it sounds a good one if everybody else is in for it.
Yes, one way or another, it's a good job. But I think I agree that the target would be useful to know. Either there's money in it to make the arrest go ahead and someone else might be pleased if this person's out of the way, or there's more money in it to make the arrest not happen because this person is dangerous and we'll be pleased it's not happened.
What do you reckon, Grimlyn?
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to know who it is, because I think the potential for keeping that evidence and blackmailing them at a later point is potentially quite valuable. If it's somebody sufficiently powerful or dangerous that they're afraid to go and arrest them, it suggests that they're somebody that you can leverage it against.
Right. So, first point of call then, find out who it is.
All right, well, then I shall leave you all to prepare, he says, as he kind of hobbles off, musing over Jellybean's point, thinking it over. And by thinking it over, you can see him get out a hip flask. He's going to have a nice long think. So, brilliant. You're gonna take the job, but you're not sure which angle you're going to work yet, which is absolutely fine. So we move into the gather information phase of the score, where you are going to use all your skills at your disposal to figure out what you want to do. Now, remember, you're going towards a plan, and we need to get towards a plan fairly quickly. So let me just pull up the engagement sheet, and we can talk about the types of plan you could have. So you could either have an assault, deception, stealth, occult, social, or transport. Now, you need to know which target you're going for first. So keep those in mind as you start to gather information on the target, which target you want to have. So what do you want to do from here, folks?
I think it's going to have to be some kind of social and hunting sort of engagement to uncover the information. So maybe Jellybean, you could find out the gossip, see if anybody's been making any waves. Vixen, maybe you street level stuff. Just throwing potential pitches out there of things, really. It's not in my wheelhouse, so there's not a lot I can offer to find out the target, that is.
We talked to the Bluecoats before, but I don't know if they'd be particularly friendly to us in this scenario. We don't know who wants an arrest and who doesn't.
You've been given some names by Sark. Riley Taylor, Terry Legg, and Esther McDermott as three blue coats that really do not want this to happen.
Okay.
I think the first port of call might be go speak with Ogre.
Mm.
It's always good to speak to our eyes on the streets first of all. Blue coats aren't exactly known for being tight-lipped.
Very well. So, does everyone agree you're going to go speak to the unfortunate many and their leader, Ogre?
I think it's a good call there.
Yeah.
Yep. So, you travel to the bridge where they live. And as always, there are barrels filled with wood burning away. People shuffling and walking around, drinking various spirits. They seem to be in better spirits than they were before last time you came here. Although you're aware that one of their members went missing, which you found in the underground prison. They're not worried about being abducted anymore. When you get there, you are shown immediately to Ogre, who is reclining on a bed of dirty rags and blankets. Turns over and looks up at you. His blearily eye goes, "Oh, what do you want? What do you want? Oh, it's you lot. Oh, hello, friends. How can I help you? What do you need?"
We've been offered a job and we'd like to know if you heard any information about it. The blue coats surprisingly have a clients. Typically, I believe there's an individual by the name of Riley who's looking to have some things disappear. But she's not been very forthcoming about why they need to disappear or who it's about, and, well, you have ears everywhere.
Yeah, that'll do.
Someone they're looking to bring in.
Look. I'd love to help you. And we are on your side. It's just, well, times are hard, you know. Times are hard. Oh, we're all so sick down here. We're all so sick.
Is the cure likely to be alcoholic?
I mean, the cure is generally round and shines a little bit if you buff it up a bit. That's the best cure we've got. 1 coin. Give me 1 coin and I'll be able to tell you this, because this information, while we are your loyal informants, well, this is going to cost you 1 coin, I'm afraid. And when you find the information out, you'll know why it's cost you 1 coin.
Oh, very well.
Needn't ask. Services don't go with unrendered payment.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, miss. Well, they're after a pair of nasty characters. From what I heard, they're called Abigail and Aidan Skylark. The Skylarks, brother and sister. Dangerous they are. For what I heard, they want to be arrested because they assassinated somebody in broad daylight. Now the inspector apparently wants them both arrested. Anyone goes to arrest the Skylarks going to end up dead. The Skylarks work for coin, and they work for whoever's got the most. And if you get in their way, you end up dead. At least that's what I've heard.
I'm surprised the what do you call them? The ghost people. that deal with ghosts.
The spirit wardens.
Yeah, I'm surprised they've not come down hard if they're creating ghosts everywhere.
Huh. Well, it's a funny thing, you see. The spirit wardens don't normally know about it till it's too late. It's like, well, Mumbles, come over here. Mumbles. You see a shuffling figure in rags get out of a even bigger pile of what looked like rubbish, and they kind of shuffle over. Big beard, big eyebrows, more facial hair than actual face. And they shuffle over and they say, over there, up and down. Mumbles. Tell the good people what you saw. Well, what I saw was rather disturbing. They stabs him, and no bell goes off. Up and down, up and down.
I see. Did you notice anything special about the blade?
Yes, there was something very, very distinctive about the blade.
What was it?
That'll be another coin, I'm afraid.
This job is only worth not that many coins.
I'm afraid that
Jelly will pay for this one. This sounds interesting.
out of your own personal coin.
My own personal coin.
Okay, Mummy and Daddy are not going to like that.
They're not going to know.
If you think your father doesn't count every coin you go out with and every coin you come back with.
Yeah, but I'll just tell him I bought some sweeties or something.
Yes, and he'll be absolutely livid. He'll be, Jellybean, you should not be buying sweets. They rot the tooth and the mind.
Has he even come out of his tower yet?
He has, yes, to berate you. Berate your purchases. He thinks you make unwise financial investments. And he should know because he bought the house you live in, which was a very unwise financial investment. But your mother wanted it. So, little window into Jellybean's life there. Spent own coin. Thank you. That's going to come back later. So, he describes the knife that is exactly the same as the ones the two people you saw last time had.
What's distinctive about it?
Did I mention what was distinctive about it
You
last
might have
time?
done that. I don't know.
I don't think I did. No, it's got a slightly purpley blue blade. And it seemed to hum. Mumble says, thank you very much for the coin, young miss. He extends his hand out to shake yours, Jellybean.
I'll shake it. I've probably got lace gloves on or something, so it's fine.
Those gloves, you're never going to get the dirt out.
No.
Anyone got any other questions for these two? For Mumbles or for Ogre?
Do we know kind of where these skylarks normally reside?
Oh, no, it's hard. We don't really know where they are. They're around the city. They, as I say, they work for pay. They work for the highest bidder. They could be anywhere, up and down Doskville, in any one of the districts. I mean, some people say they live out in the wasteland, but no one lives out there.
Can you tell us anything about Inspector Eugene?
Oh, that little streak of nonsense. Well, Inspector Whitlock is a very proud man. He's got ideas above his station. I think something bad happened to put him where he is now, because he's in charge of the old Nick at Crunchwell Street. Not the most glamorous of locations in Crowsfoot, but he's got ideas of getting himself back up the ladder towards the top again. But, well, he has a tendency to gamble. He also likes some of the, strange spirit-based substances that some people, enjoy from time to time. Ghost powder, that sort of thing.
Do you know where his residence is?
Yeah, I do. Crunchwell Nick. He never leaves the blooming place.
Can't do much arresting then.
No, he's in charge. He doesn't do arresting. He's in charge. No. He's, as I said, he's an ambitious little thing that wants to make a mark on the world.
One might be a long shot, but do you have any idea where the safe is relative to the exterior walls of the Nick?
Oh, blimey, I ain't been in his office. It's probably on the top floor, though. That's where he likes to look out. There's a big window, and he likes to stare out of it onto the road below. You can see him there most days, standing, staring.
Wow. Ogre. It's been good.
Yeah, you got to come by for a drink sometime, Larkin.
Yeah.
I don't know why we feel a real affinity to you.
Yeah, no, I'm there.
Yeah, you are here, in spirit with all of us.
Yeah.
Next time, be in spirits with us, he says, and takes a long swig from a bottle and goes, oh, God, that wouldn't walk. That wouldn't gin. Oh, God.
Okay. So, gang, what do you think? Can I perhaps pitch an idea that you can either like or throw out of the water?
Of course.
Well, I couldn't help but see Jellybean's eyes and mouth. Her eyes go wide and sort of saliva. The thought of a knife that can kill without warning the spirit wardens. So I kind of feel that regardless of what happens here, Jellybean would like that knife.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so that means they have to be our targets. But it's going to be difficult. So how about we get them to do a job for us? The job being Whitlock. He never leaves the jail. We literally get them to walk in the jail that we want them to be arrested in. We set a trap, basically. It's a forming of an idea. I mean, the fact that he's known never to leave, they're going to have to go in there.
But it doesn't seem that we pose much of a problem for them either.
Well, yeah, but they're not expected additional help now. Grimlyn, you can real mess them up. And Vixen with that. Yeah. With the three of you, they're not going to know what hit them.
If we're dealing with those assassins, the only way I want to see them leave is in a body bag. I don't want this coming back to bite us.
Well, you know, I can see a bit of rough and ready, and Jellybean has to get hold of the knife, and the knife gets put into the wrong person, you know. A lot of confusion. What do they call it? Fog of war. Or rather chemical smoke and bombs, Grimlyn of war.
What would you?
They're not likely to. They sound very rare weaponry. It's not likely they'd be able to point towards another. It's going to be a one-off artifact, I suppose.
Yeah, which is why we're going to need them.
Mm.
It was only a suggestion, but it means we know exactly where they're going to be.
Maybe we can talk to these bluecoats and find out more about.
Well, I mean, we can, but it sounds fairly obvious to me that they don't want to go and arrest these Skylarks.
No, just if they know any more about what the Skylarks have been doing.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with that, but I will bet you a coin, Jellybean, it's been killing.
I'd imagine so.
So you're taking the bet?
No.
Damn.
Well, yes. What next then?
What do you think, Grimlyn? Sorry, you look like you're about to say something.
No, I was just thinking that trying to take them out if they're in the police station means that not only are we potentially facing a powerful adversary, but we're also doing it on hostile territory. So creating a scene in a police station is potentially problematic.
You get me wrong, Grimlyn. We get Whitlock and he's in on it. He's our bait. He wants to arrest these. This is what's so sweet about it. We go to him. We want to do them a favour. We've heard that they are coming for him because he has put an arrest warrant out for them, but we are in the know. We'll protect him. I'm not saying that we do this without the blue coats' knowledge. I say we do it. Get the blue coats on our side.
So we are playing on his desire for promotion and his desire to make a name for himself.
Yeah, and the fact that he's a gambler. That's what they said.
We get no coin out of that. Or at least potentially no coin.
I wasn't sure who was going to pay us the coin anyway to get them arrested.
I guess the officers.
The officers.
Cool.
Well, the officers.
The officers are going to pay us to not get arrested, to make the evidence disappear.
Well, if they don't have to deal with the Skylarks because they're accidentally killed, then I would expect them to cough up, to be honest.
Yeah, we do a counter offer to them and say, you're not going to have to arrest them. We're going to get them arrested for you. So they're not going to have to go out. We're getting them in there. They can be in there for the arrest as well. That'll do them some good. It's looking that they're not, shirking their duties. Everybody's a winner, apart from the Skylarks.
Actually have any way to contact them or the coin to actually hire them?
Well, I mean, all we have to do is put word out there. We've got their names now. If they're anywhere decent. What about these papers? I'm sure there's a special classified advertisement for assassins.
Probably.
I mean, it was only an idea. We could just try and hunt them down and steal their knife.
I
I mean, it's all a lot more complex than the idea that I had. But
Yeah, what's that? Blow them up.
no. I was just thinking that perhaps we do the job as it had presented to us. We use the coin and the evidence that we take to get them to do a job for us, which is perhaps dealing with the lost boys and girls. And then either during that or afterwards, we can retrieve the knife off them.
That sounds fine to me.
Maybe
as
the
well.
lost boys and girls in their numbers can cause them more problems because there's only 2 of them.
Also a good idea.
It is.
Particularly if we gave a kind of degree of advanced knowledge to the lost boys and girls that somebody might be coming to evict them. So they're ready for it. So a bigger fight ensues, and then if any of the lost boys and girls survive, we look a bit better for having tried to forewarn them. So I call that a win with a win.
Yes, I think I'd rather leave the assassins until we've had more time to look into them and think if we actually can take them or not.
Not opposed to that, Grimlyn. If we want to work towards that, that is good.
Yeah. The inspector might still be someone useful down the line. He will be upset his evidence has gone missing. Maybe he'll put a counter job out to get it back. And that'll be easy going.
So it sounds like you are edging towards a plan,
Yep.
or at least the start of a plan. Remember, we keep plans very light here. We get straight to the action in Blades in the Dark. So I reiterate, if you are going to do the job, so you're going to try and steal the evidence from Inspector Whitlock's safe somewhere in his building that he never leaves, there will be blue coats there. There will be maybe some that are think favorably of you. There may be some that don't like you. But in any case, you need to choose whether you're doing an assault, so doing violence to a target, deception, so lure, tricking, or manipulate a target, stealth, trespassing unseen, occult, engaging a supernatural power, social, negotiate, bargain, or persuade, or transport, carry cargo or people through danger.
I had initially hoped
Oh,
to try and assault, try and catch him outside of the area, incapacitate him and go in while it was empty, but if he never leaves, I suppose social's probably going to be our best bet? Or sneak in from the roof?
Deception?
Dress up as blue coats. He'll be like, "Why haven't I
Not
seen you here
necessarily.
before?"
Aren't you a bit short for a blue coat?
Let them try to say that.
Okay.
So is deception social, basically?
So deception is to lure, trick, or manipulate. So I need the method of deception. Whereas social is more of a negotiate, bargain, or persuade. So I need the social connection.
I think I like deception, potentially a couple of new blue coats reporting for duty. A couple
We
of
don't
us.
want to be tied to the evidence. Like if we talk our way in, it's more personal that it's us, as opposed to pretending to be someone else.
So it sounds like you want to try deception. Is that what everyone wants to do?
I think sounds
Cool.
good to me.
So what is the deception? What is the method of deception you wish to do? Remember that there will be some gather information after this where you can maybe help yourselves out a little bit, give yourself some extra dice. But yes, so what's the method of deception?
Impersonation, I suppose. Perhaps get a blue coat that we don't particularly like or is known to be not very lenient, flat out drunk, take their stuff.
Or our contacts could maybe find us some spare uniforms.
Well, that sounds like we're getting close Yeah, that sounds like we should get to the engagement roll then, unless there's any other information you want. Because getting hold of some uniforms and getting in there, sounds like a perfect place to start. So, any other information you think you might need? Otherwise, we will go to the engagement roll.
No,
Could we
sounds good.
get the building plans?
Yes. How would you go about doing that?
Perhaps speak to my spy friend.
Very good. Yes. So give me a roll for this one, please.
Do social sway, I believe.
Yep.
6.
Okay. So that is a success. So remember, for everyone watching Blades in the Dark, 1, 2, or 3 is a failure. A 4 and a 5 is a success with a complication, and a 6 an outright success. So you got an outright success there with a 6. So Rosalind manages to get you the information. There are 4 floors to this place: a ground floor, 2 upper floors, and a cellar. The cellar contains the cells. You have the ground floor, where there is the desk and a small changing room. There's the first floor, where there are offices and a room to sleep in for anyone that's running a late shift. And then on the second floor, you have the inspector's office. You have a storeroom, and you have the inspector's quarters. It seems that he's made the top floor, except for the storeroom, the top floor he has made into his own. There are about sort of 6 rooms per floor.
I'm guessing there's no fire escape or anything like that.
This is Doskvol, so the fire escape is generally going out the window and hoping for a soft landing.
Is it a standalone building? Is it detached, or is
It is essentially an end terrace. So there's a long line of various buildings, and this one's kind of bolted on the end.
And do we know what is adjacent to it?
Yep. Adjacent to it is a tavern. It's called the Drunk Dog. Downstairs is rumored to be a public house with lots of gambling in it. It's the sort of place that does do rooms, but it does the room by the half hour.
Okay.
So, let us go to the engagement roll. You get 1d6 for pure luck. You then get various advantages and disadvantages. So, is this operation particularly bold or daring? I should say so. Is it overly complex or contingent on many factors? Don't think
Complex.
so.
It's contingent on us not getting found out, I guess.
Yeah. Does the plan's detail expose a vulnerability of the target or hit them where they're weakest?
No.
Well, it's a police station, so no. Can any of your friends or contact provide aid or insight for the operation?
Well, the people who hired us can.
Yep. Have you got anyone else you think that might be able to help you from your contacts?
Can we say the spy master getting us the blueprints?
Yeah.
Yeah. But you always have Satara working against you. The demon that is against Barkin Larkin. So that goes down to 3d6. Any other elements you want to consider? Well, you've got a lot of information about this one, so I'm going to give you an extra d6. That's 4d6. So this deception, we'll see how well this is for you to basically get uniforms and be outside with however many of you want to be outside, ready to go in. That's the point we're going to enter. So I'm rolling 4d6s. Oh my word. Well, you are very lucky. I rolled a 5, a 6, a 5, and a 6 on the engagement roll.
Oh,
6s are good. So, how many of you are going to be turning up in uniform? Because the idea was that you were going to turn up in uniform as if this was your first day at this one anyway.
Depends how comedic we want it to be.
I'm not.
Cool. Jellybean, I mean, you're a bit short. Grimlyn, some of you have to go in uniform.
Yeah, I can do.
Cool. So Grimlyn will be in uniform. I mean, the coat fits very nicely over the top of your existing clothing. It is a big blue coat, so it's quite nice that you can sort of continue to wear what you wear. Vixen.
Oh my god, if I'm more valuable taking up a crow's nest to look into that window. But no, I think I'll join. I don't want to send Grimlyn in alone.
Vixen and Grimlyn. So
I mean, I'll come
just
with
before
you if you want,
they don't do uniforms in child size.
okay, I'll just cut the bottom off.
But you have got real uniforms. So what you managed to do what you said. So you found a blue coat. You're aware of some of the taverns that they hang out in, and you got one of them absolutely blind drunk, and managed to get his and talk him into getting some of his colleagues' coats. So you have a one for each of you should you wish it, including Jellybean. It said Jellybean's is just a bit long. And so, well, I'm just going to ask your loadout. So we'll start with Grimlyn. So is it light, medium, or heavy?
Would a medium load look unusual against the blue coat uniform?
No, not at all.
Okay, then I'll take medium load or normal load.
Brilliant. Normal. Vixen.
Normal load as well.
Normal. Jellybean. Light, normal, or heavy?
Normal.
Normal. Good. Barkin Larkin.
Going heavy.
Very good. So, as Grimlyn and Vixen find themselves out the front of Crunchwell Nick, Jellybean and Barkin Larkin, I'd like you both to think of where you will be. Remember, you have made plans in flashback to say this is where you would have been, but you will have to flashback for them. So, we'll start with Grimlyn and Vixen as you enter Crunchwell Nick. And as you walk in the front door, the two of you see a very, very sorry-looking police station. There are a couple of blue coats passed out over a table where you can see that they've been very liberally partaking of the cup. There's a dartboard and there's a couple of knives sticking out of the dartboard. It seems that darts went missing quite a long time ago. You're fairly certain there's also a fork sticking out of it as well. The whole room smells of stale tobacco, stale booze, sweat, disappointment. The man behind the desk, when you come in, looks up. He's unshaven, bleary-eyed. His uniform not quite put on properly. He says, "Who are you two? I don't recognise you."
Yeah, we've just been sent over here. We've been transferred. I'm kind of Grimlyn's just going to look around the room as if to go, this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He starts looking through an in tray of papers like transferred. Whoa, it's too early in the night for this. Do you know where you're going?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, we'll
Well,
be all right.
get yourself settled upstairs. Don't go to the top floor. That's the inspector's floor. We can't get up there anyway. He keeps it locked. Just stick to the first 2 floors, or go down to the cells to taunt the prisoners. That's what we do when we want to laugh. Well, good luck. Good luck. And if you ever want to get transferred back out of this one, good luck. No one comes here by choice. I wonder what you two did. I can't wait to find it in the filing. Right. Well, get yourselves a brew. You might need to clean some of the mugs. And look forward to working with you. He says, and he starts rearranging the papers back into a pillow. But you said there are quite a few blue coats around. There are various different. It's kind of a large room, and there are various rooms off this one, like a small kitchen room where you can see there's a large cast iron range upon which is sat a very, very sorry looking kettle. You can see that there is a storeroom that looks like it contains maybe some truncheons and things like that. There is a back door as well there, and there's a door that leads down to the cells, and a door that with a stairwell that leads up to the next floor up. What would the two of you like to do?
Think that perhaps we should go get ourselves a truncheon as upstanding blue coats. It's never good to go without one.
I was going to go for the back door, so I mean.
So, well, you can split up if you wish.
Are they in different areas, the back door?
Yeah. Yeah, the back door's kind of on the far wall from this one. And kind of on the left and right walls are the stairs, the kitchen. Kind of this is a long sort of almost like a corridor room. So yeah, you've got the storeroom off to one side. There would be a visible gap between the two of you.
Okay. I'll go with Vixen to begin with then. We can scope out that room and see if there's many people in there who might notice someone trying to unlock the back door surreptitiously.
Okay, very good. So, yeah, do you want to try and do this surreptitiously, or are you just going to walk over there? I mean, you are looking like blue coats, so you can behave normally like blue coats, but anything that you do outside of that, I'm going to start needing rolls.
I believe we're told to go and get ourselves sorted. I think getting equipment sounds quite reasonable.
Very good. Yep. So you head over to the storeroom. You take a look around the room as you're doing so. There are 2 blue coats. One of them is on a chair asleep by the back door. One of them is sitting at his desk currently doing the whole knife hand thing. You notice he does occasionally stab his hand, but he doesn't seem to be yowling in pain. So the 2 of you go to the storeroom and you open the door, and there are truncheons in here. There's just a barrel filled with odd sticks. There are a couple of really moth-eaten blue coats. Yours are much better quality than the ones in here. You can actually see that the guy who's playing the knife game is currently looked like he was eyeing up your coats. There are, including the desk sergeant, 5 blue coats in the main room. There's no one in the storeroom except yourselves.
This storeroom, is it Like an internal room, no windows, no doors, any of that.
There is a window. There is a very old, crusty window where the window's been blacked out. It's on the side of the building. It's on the side because it's an end terrace. It's on the end terrace side.
So sort of opposite where the pub's wall is.
Yeah, the opposite wall from the pub wall.
Is it big enough for a person to get in?
It is, yes.
Winning at life. Okay. I'm gonna close the door. Gently or obscure it enough that I can go and have a look at the window and see whether it can be jimmied open.
Okay. You close the door, and as you move over, you're aware that this is going to start looking a little suspicious. This window doesn't look like it's going to move easily. You're going to need to do something to move it.
You want me to cause a distraction?
Maybe just talk to the people in the other room or something, or make some tea. We might need tea in a minute anyway if things go awry.
Okay.
I have a plan.
Okay. So, are you going to go and make a distraction in the main room, Vixen?
Yeah, I'm going to go make a fool out of myself.
Okay. And if you're going to try and open this window, how are you going to make sure everyone else knows? Or are you going to have worked that out previously? Remember, you can flash back to have spoken about this, but you'll have to use a flashback. And depending on what you wish to plan, depends on whether or not you take any stress.
Depending.
I was going to say, just so you're aware, Grimlyn, I was going to go to the drunk dog anyway, and see if I can use that as a way of doing something.
So I was thinking if the back door and the window kind of have a wall that there's a corner that meets both of those, sort of hanging around with visibility would allow them to see whether I could open a window or open the door, depending on what was around. So they could be kind of hanging around so that they can see which, if any, I can get opened.
Lovely. That sounds good. So currently, as Larkin says he's going to be in the drunk dog, it's just Jellybean hanging around on a corner.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Jellybean's welcome to come with me as well. It depends what Jellybean wants to do. I haven't snuck off by myself.
Yeah, let's go to Jellybean and Larkin now. Then, as this plan is about to head off inside. So Jellybean and Larkin, you've seen them go in. They've gotten in successfully. You are aware that Grimlyn said to wait on a corner to see if she could get the back door open or the window open. So it's up to the two of you whether or not you wish to wait or whether you do have a plan to go to the pub and only one of you waits for the window to be open. Yeah. You have got a heavy load, Larkin. You think climbing through a window might be difficult.
Yeah, I mean, I would have clarified that I'm attempting to get an exit strategy for us. And I would have, again, I haven't kept it secret. I'm going to try and get into the drunk dog, go up to the roof attic if there is one, and see if there's a way through to the roof attic of the cop, so you can get up through the roof. Because getting in your disguise is one thing, getting out again is perhaps another. So I would have explained that anyway.
Very good. Yep. So you're aware of this plan.
Yeah, and obviously Jellybean is welcome to either come with me or sneak in with the others.
Well, I guess I should wait in case Grimlyn does manage to get the door open.
That's cool. I just don't really think that I've abandoned you.
Yeah.
There is
we are planned.
Nothing more terrifying than Jellybean alone. So Jellybean, you're standing on a corner. You're waiting currently, because we'll deal with Larkin in a second. You're waiting for waiting for Grimlyn to either open the back door and indicate or open the window and indicate. When a rather imposing looking figure casts a shadow over you. You see a blue coat. She is standing over you with a rather stern expression. She's got a large scar on her cheek. She says, "Well now, my girl, what are you doing here?"
Standing around.
Standing around a police station?
Is it?
This is the Blue Coat Station, my girl.
Well, I would have no reason to know that, would I?
Do your parents know you're out and about here?
Very much doubt it.
Well, young girl hanging around all on your own. You look at her and you think she's currently deciding what to do with you. Is there anything you'd like to do to try and persuade her or make her go one way or the other?
I'm going to say, so are you a police officer then? Do you get to stab people?
Stab people? Don't get to stab people as a police officer. Get to hit them with my truncheon, though. And she gets the truncheon out, and you can see it is a big club with a metal end, and you can see it's thoroughly dented and a little bit bloodstained.
It's not quite the same, but yeah, pretty good. So do you fight lots of scary people
then? She leans in close and smiles. I am scary people, little one.
Well, yes, but does that mean you get to fight other scary people?
Yeah. When there's a melee, they send in Big Eater. That's me, Big Eater.
Big Eater.
Wow. Big's me nickname on account of me muscles, and she flexes, and yeah, she's quite muscular.
Wow, you certainly sound a useful lady to know, Big. I'm Jellybean.
Jellybean. Well, I suppose if I was a good citizen, I should bring you into the Blue Coat Station and then send a runner out to get your parents.
If you must.
Or I could just leave you here.
Either way is fine. But if you've got anything interesting in there you could show me, that would be cool.
The only thing I'd be showing you, girl, is the other side of a desk as you wait for your parents. Sounds like it might be too much trouble. Don't you go getting yourself kidnapped now. Would hate to fill in the paperwork, so I probably wouldn't bother. She says.
Oh, don't worry. People have tried to kidnap me before.
She looks a little concerned.
Even blue coats.
I'm going to be back out here in 5 minutes. Make sure you're not standing here. And she lumbers off towards the front of the Blue Coat Station. You hear the door.
We need to hire this lady.
You hear the door.
Big muscles and a big stick.
You hear the door slam. Big Ada has gone inside. But we'll deal with where she goes inside when we go back to Vixen and Grimlyn. But at the moment, the drunk dog has a new patron. This patron is Barkin Larkin. How do you want to go in? Do you want to go in the front door? There's a back door and a cellar.
Just a patron, the first thing that I instantly want to look at is, I mean, with it being right next door to a blue coat station, is it full of blue coats, or does it look like this is just there's not a lot of off-duty blue coats here, or is there?
Give me a roll, please, for this one, I think. So choose one of your skills and give me a roll.
Using my eyes, I'm assuming study.
Study sounds good. Study, survey, these are all good. 5s are good. So you think that there are a couple of off-duty blue coats in here. You can see there's a number of tables set up with games of dice and cards going on. This is definitely a place that's gambling. No one is in uniform.
Yeah.
And it seems to be deliberate that nobody is in uniform. The thing that is your complication, however, is that a number of the blue coats, or you suspect the blue coats, stop playing and look over at you and get a very good look at you when you come in the door.
Yeah. I'll play into that.
This is going to increase your heat because you will be a memorable person they will have seen. But
is the pub busy?
This floor's fairly busy. Yeah, there's a piano. Well, it stopped when you came in, playing a kind of ragtime-esque melody, but it resumes again. There are men, women. There are non-binary persons. You could hire basically whoever you want as company, both down here and upstairs, should you wish.
Okay. I'll go and get myself a drink first, and I'm playing I'm not going to gamble, but I'm just looking interested and being a patron at the moment.
Okay. The barman gets you a drink and says, most of the games are full. But if you want to join one, there are a few tables with a spot. If you're looking for company, he looks you up and down. It's payment up front. And I'll probably need a deposit to make sure the sheets are clean afterwards.
I was looking for some work, actually.
Work?
Yeah.
He looks you up and down. Please tell me you're not a stripper.
I like you. Nah, vermin. I clear them out. There's been an outbreak a couple of doors down. Roaches. You wouldn't believe the bloody size of them. Big as dogs, supposedly. Haven't caught any that big yet, but close to rats.
Oh.
I'm just wondering, just on the off chance, coming down the street, the last thing you really want is roaches affecting your business. I could give you a quick check over. If it looks like it's some work, it's going to be a coin. If not, no harm done. Your choice, sir.
Give me... He looks like he's being swayed by you here, but give me a roll. Give me a roll. Choose one of your skills. Give me a roll.
I'm going to start getting my roach smasher out. And I've got this device that looks terrifying. And I'm trying to confuse him with Tinker.
Very good. Give me a Tinker roll. And tick off a box of load.
Yep.
And add a d6 on.
Okay, so my Tinker is 2, so that's going to be 3. It's a horrific trap.
Yeah.
That I've bloodied up already. Something is in there that hasn't been cleaned off quite fast.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, a 6, a 5, and a 1, a 6. He looks at it and goes, oh,
Yeah, all right, little
blimey, I don't like that. No, I do not like that. Oh, put it away. Oh, put it back. Yeah, no. Oh, you got your credentials, all right. Well, I can't be seen to be having rats, cockroaches as big as rats here.
Yeah.
I can't be seen for that. I mean, this is a hygienic establishment. I would like you to take a look, see what you can find. Look, I'll pay you a coin if you can find it,
Right.
and if not, the drinks are on me.
You are a gentleman.
Well, that's what I've always thought.
Now, I'm going to start at the top and work my way down. You've got a cellar, I'm assuming, as well.
Yeah, it's down. It suggests it's down there.
Is there an attic space?
Oh yeah, it's an attic space. Yeah. It's up the top. Oh, let me give you. I'll come up here and I'll unlock it for you.
Yeah. Good man.
Patsy. Yeah. Come and take over the bar. I'm going to show this man upstairs. And he leads you up several flights of stairs, and there is more gambling happening up here. There's more squeaking happening up here. Noises the likes of which are not broadcastable on YouTube. When you get to the top floor, there's a ladder, and he goes up the ladder and he gets a big key ring out and he unlocks it and he says, "I'll just be waiting here for you to finish."
I mean, you can do, but just be careful. There might well be some of them coming out.
Oh,
But, it'd be good for you to
Well,
careful if you're going to try and stamp on them, because they're the right vicious buggers.
look,
I've got some string for your trouser legs as well, because they go right up.
I can't leave you alone up there. I'll wait down the end of the corridor here, I'll wait down there, and you sort it out. I'll just be round the corner. And he heads off down a corridor, leaving you in the attic. However, we go straight back to Grimlyn and Vixen inside the Blue Coats station. Vixen, you've gone to distract. You see a large lady walk in. She, instead of heading straight and settling down, she actually goes straight to the stairs and goes up. But you have this place to yourself now.
Okay. Perhaps if she's heading up to the stairs, I'm going to let out a slight startled squeaking noise and loudly announce, pleasure to... You're really big. I'm Arena West. I look forward to... Oh dear God, that's bloody...
Oh, give me a roll for this, please. It's going to get an extra D6 on it for your excellent role playing. But give me a roll. What would you like to roll? Choose one of your skills. It doesn't have to be the ones you think it might be either.
I think sway.
Yeah, give me a sway and add an extra D6 on it. Remember, you can also push yourself. Unfortunately, no one's around to help you right now. You've split the party, so help is difficult, as are group actions. I love it when you split the party.
Dear, let's give it a go.
Oh, it's a 5. She says, I'm Big Ada. And I like fresh meat. I am big. I got big muscles. Big muscles to catch big criminals. But if you can respect me, I can respect you. So put it there. And she puts her hand out.
You ain't getting that back.
Take it as firmly as I can. Go. You look like you know what you're doing. Perhaps you could show me the ropes.
Oh, I'll show you the ropes, sunshine. You'll be my new friend, Lillian. And she shakes your hand. You take level 1 crushed hand damage. Level 1 harm, crushed hand. As she shakes your hand in that award-winning handshake that some people have. She lets go and goes, I'm going off shift for a little bit. Going upstairs. Gonna have myself a small sleep. One of yous better go outside in a minute and check that there's not that little girl out there. Because if she's still there, throw her in the cell. And then we can see how much her mum and dad wants to pay to get her back.
Yes,
And
I'll do it.
you'll do it. I like you, fresh meat. This one's got a new name. Fresh meat. And she turns and heads towards the stairs going up.
I think you're in there, Vixen.
We go back to the room where you, Grimlyn, you hear in the storeroom, you hear all of this going on outside, this loud exchange. You even hear a slight crunch.
Hey.
Hopefully it was
Well,
just
I better
coffee.
crack on with doing my bit because
Yeah.
otherwise it's just taking one for the team for nothing.
So, yeah, the window's stuck. So what would you like to use to open it?
So I would like to use some of my tools. So I figure I have like a I don't know what it's called, but like a wood plane kind of thing. Not
Yeah.
plane, but chisel.
Chisel.
To be able to try and unstick any paint or whatever that they've used to
Ooh,
sort of mess it up with.
very good. So what skill are you going to use for this one?
So this is going to be tinkering.
Tinkering. Cool. Yep. Give me a tinker roll, please. Oh, I mean, last time it was
Dice
all
hated me.
1s and 2s, but this time you've got a critical success.
Yay.
Oh, when you need it. So, yes. And it's quiet too. No one outside hears a thing. As you very deftly scrape the paint off, freeing the window. And in fact, freeing the wood a little bit as well. So that the window slides up with no problems. Poking your head out into the night, you see Jellybean hanging on the corner. This was the young girl, obviously you knew was there, but the young girl that they were talking about. And Jellybean, you see Grimlyn at the window.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to do?
Kind of
Might get
back
emotion.
in.
Yep.
So, Jellybean, you go over to the window. Are you going to climb through and go in?
If that's...
Very good. So you end up in this police station storeroom. You're aware beyond there are still 5 blue coats and 1's asleep by the back door. The sergeant is currently sitting at his table, looking like he's trying to go back to sleep. There are a couple of blue coats in here awake. There's 2 awake. One is playing the knife game. One is currently complaining that there's no tea. But he's not going to make the tea. He's just complaining that there's no tea. So what would the 2 of you like to do? You're aware Vixen's just... Big Age has just gone upstairs. You're aware that Vixen's just kind of standing around in the middle of the room with a very, very hurt hand.
Oh, are you all right?
Are you going to the main room to ask that, Jellybean?
If I could
'Cause
see
you're-
it from here, it might be...
Yeah, you can see it, but you'd have to call across the room, and that might make people turn around and see you.
No, that's fine.
So how are you going to get Jellybean through here?
So I'm just going to say to Jellybean, hang on there for a couple of minutes. I'm just going to go and drug these guys. I'll be right back.
Grimlyn, you're going to go drug some people.
Do it.
Wonderful. How are you going to do this? And I have a suspicion I know how,
So
but please.
basically, my plan is that ahead of time, I would have gone to my apothecary friend.
Yep.
And probably asked for the strongest sleeping drafts that they make.
Okay.
The fastest action ones. And then what I plan to do is I'll have bought a small kind of like sort of half bottle of whiskey kind of size, the little ones. And I'll put a bunch of it in there, but I'll keep some back. And then basically I'll swill it around so it dissolves. And then when I go into the other room, I'll kind of put it down kind of quite forcefully on the table.
Yeah.
And say something like, "Can you guys bring the drinks?" And then I'll go and put the kettle on.
Okay.
And hopefully they'll just kind of carry on and take some of that. And then I'm going to make some tea and I'm going to put the rest into the tea. So depending if they have a teapot or if it's just literally straight into the cups, I'm going to have to wash one first because I want to take it up to the inspector and pretend like I think that he's got to be brought tea because that's what the desk sergeant told me. So is he playing a prank on the new person?
Very good. So we're going to cover this with one roll. So to do the whiskey, I think the whiskey is the most important thing to focus on. So how are you going to get everyone to drink that? What's your approach here? I'm going to ask you to take one stress for basically going to your apothecary friend, flashing back to your apothecary friend, and getting that. It's not a difficult thing, but She's worked out, your apothecary friend has worked out a way to make sure she won't get in too much trouble now for the things that she's missing, given you seem to be coming rather regularly to get drugs from her. So yeah, give me a roll. What would you want to use?
It's probably got to be something like sway, which is one of my worst skills. But
remember, you can push yourself. So you take 2 stress and you can add an extra d6. Vixen is also here with you. And if there's any help Jellybean thinks she can provide now from the room just behind you, you two can take stress to add an extra d6 to Grimlyn.
Happy to help.
Okay.
So I would definitely push myself as well.
Okay, so you can take 2 stress, Grimlyn. Vixen, you take 1 stress. You get 2 extra d6 on this one then.
Okay.
Worth leading a group action. Or can we do a 2-person group action?
You could, but it might... Yeah, you could try a group action should you wish. That means you'd both be rolling sway, and we take the highest result, and you'd either take 2 failures or 1 failure. So 2 stress or 1 stress. Or no stress. What would you prefer?
I can join in the group action, but I can't be the leader because I haven't got that much stress left.
What do you think, Grimlyn?
We were doing beforehand.
I only have 1 sway, so everything that we do by me pushing myself and Vixen helping kind of makes that substantially better. I don't know what Vixen's sway is like to know if it's better for them to kind of me to just push myself and Vixen to kind of, so we do a group action or not.
Also, would you have told Vixen about the plan, Grimlyn? Would Vixen be aware that this whiskey's going to be drugged? I hope so. Otherwise,
probably not the whiskey, because that's probably more of an improvised plan. Depending, like it would have been a potential plan on the table, depending on how many people there were. The drugs being present for the tea would definitely have been part of
Okay.
the plan.
That's fine.
So, so Vixen would know that I have kind of stuff to
Yeah, that's good. That's
Fine.
good to know.
Grimlyn's
use-
got
remove
form.
problems.
Just like wagging your eyebrows at it.
So basically, are you going to roll the 3d6 you've got, or are you going to roll a group action? It's it seemed to be dependent on Vixen's sway. What's your sway, Vixen?
2 die.
Okay, so you get the same amount of luck, unless Jellybean helps as well.
I've got like 3 stress left, so I can help. But it's just
You
one of
wouldn't
those-
take stress if you're not leading it. So yeah.
No, yeah. If it's a group action, I can help.
Yeah.
Do we want to unveil Jellybean though yet? That is the question.
Hmm.
We need them to be a bit sleepy first before they can protest about a
Yeah.
child.
Roll your sway then. Roll your 3d6.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see what you get.
Jellybean's our secret weapon.
4s.
Knife is my secret.
All of them.
Well, it works. With a 4, of course it works. The downside, however, because there is always a downside with a 4 and a 5, is what happens afterwards. So those that are awake, the one with the knife and the one complaining about tea says, "Oh, it's something to drink, isn't it?" "Yes, something to drink." And they both take a big swig, passing it between them. The desk sergeant wakes up a little bit and has one too. The desk sergeant goes back to the desk and kind of sits down and very quickly falls asleep. The one that was complaining about tea goes and sits back down, puts his feet up and goes, "Oh yeah, I feel a bit sleepy too." The one with the knife, however, drinks and finishes the bottle of whiskey. He says, "I think there was something in that. I think there was something strange in that. Where did you get that?" And he just straight through a table. The table breaks in half. There's a mess everywhere. You will take another heat for that one. And I am starting a clock called Discovered, which is going to have 4 segments.
Uh-oh.
That was a very loud noise, and you're not through this place yet. The 3 of you, however, are currently alone on the ground floor of this place. You go into the kitchens, Grimlyn. You make the tea. You can add the extra drug to it. But you end up with a... You actually find his mug. He's got a very fine bone china saucer and cup. So we go back at this moment to Barkin Larkin on the top floor of the pub. What would you like to do?
Well, I crawl up. What's the attic like?
Yeah. So it is an attic, takes the whole, spans the whole of the building. The building's got a kind of up and down roof. There's probably a word for it. I don't know it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. With just a single beam at the top and the beams going down either side. But thankfully it runs the length of the building, so you've got quite a height where it meets with the police station and where it meets with the other side. There is a brickwork wall. There's lots of boxes in here as well. Boxes, wooden tea chests and things like that. Sorts of things that contain old items that are no longer used. You see like half a chair. You see like various bits of table and that sort of thing.
Any kind of skylight, or is it completely sort of tiled?
That's completely tiled.
What kind of state of repair is the roof in? Is there any
Poor.
or, things missing?
Oh, there are bits missing. Yeah,
Tiles,
there are
yeah.
bits missing. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna check out the the dividing wall, the brick wall between the
Okay.
two, to see what state it's in, see whether it's viable to be able to move any of the masonry or bricks, or whether it's, you know, in good condition.
It's not in good condition. Like many of the properties in Crowsfoot, it's really not in good condition. You think you should be able to get through to the other side, but you will need to give me a roll for it, because it's not going to be easy. Unless you've got a tool you wish to use or something else.
Well, yeah, this was the plan. So I'm going to spend some more of my heavy load out here.
Very good.
First and foremost, I'm going to open up my jar of cockroaches
Very good.
and pour them down the ladder or whatever, scatter them down. They're coming. The small ones are always first. Big ones are coming. It's okay. Leave it to me. Just leave it to me. So that's another one of my loads.
Yeah, you hear a shriek from down below. I'm not even going to make you roll for that. It just goes, "Oh, I don't like this. I really don't like this." And you hear the sound of footsteps of someone running away. The unfortunate side effect is that you then start to hear shrieking coming from the side rooms.
Yeah, that's fine. But more noise, more chaos, and I'm banking on the last place anybody wants to come is where the things are coming from, you know. So with that kind of hopefully degree of distraction going on, I'm going to go to the wall and see. I probably would have brought a chisel and a jackhammer.
That's one.
It's like a small hand.
Yeah.
To sort of see. And at first I would be scratching it out and seeing whether I can loosen any mortar before giving it full on. So trying to carefully remove a couple of these bricks to be able to clamber through.
That'll be a roll. I'll need a roll for this one, please. Take off one box of load for the tools.
Yeah. So that is now 3 of my 6 loads gone.
Yep. But yeah, give me a roll. What do you want to use? How do you want to try this?
I would again say tinker.
Okay.
Because I'm tinkering with the brickwork. I'm using tools. I'm going to take some stress for this.
Okay, very good.
I kind of want this to try and work. So that's 2 stress, isn't it, for 1 dice?
2 stress, for 1 extra d6.
Putting my stress up to 5 now. And this means that I've got 3 dice.
Oh, wow. 2 2s and a 5. Well, the good news is that the 5 means you succeeded with a complication. You are careful. You do start to remove some of the brickwork. The downside is this brickwork was really in a worse state of repair than you thought it was. I have started another clock. Roof falls down.
Okay.
Can't be discovered if their roof is falling in.
This clock also has 4 segments. Different things you do will affect different clocks depending on what you do. Let's see if you can either be not to be discovered or if the roof won't fall down. Time passing will also worsen this roof. Exciting! It's been a while since you've made a building collapse.
No, it's not me.
Not this time.
Not yet.
So we go straight back downstairs as Larkin is Shawshank Redemption in his way into the next room. Vixen, Grimlyn, and Jellybean, you are on the ground floor. You have drugged tea. What would the 3 of you like to do?
Well, I guess we best find where this evidence is.
The inspector's office, is it?
Shall we see if the sergeant has the key to the locked doors? He said was leading up to the office.
Mhm.
That would be smart, wouldn't it?
I'm going to do a fortune roll here. 3. He doesn't seem. Well, he's got a big roll of keys on it. Very big roll of keys. There are probably about 15 or so keys on this key ring.
Shall
So
we
you can
try
take it, but it's up to
knocking
you. So did you say you wanted to try knocking, Vixen?
My next suggestion, I suppose, if we're bringing up tea, perhaps it's more courteous to knock than to just unlock it and walk up. But it depends where this locked door is situated and if he'll hear it.
Well, we can try that first, and if it doesn't work, we can unlock his door another way.
Okay.
And then just claim he left it open.
Go upstairs then.
Cool. You go up the stairs to the first floor. When you get to the first floor, there's like a stairwell. So there are doors. There's a doorway into the stairwell. You go up one floor, there's a doorway. You can go up another floor, there's a doorway. When you get to the first floor, the doorway is open, and you can see some rooms and corridors beyond. I said on this floor there are rooms to sleep in, some common rooms, some offices. But there's a bit of a kind of a recreation area or a shared lounge area, really. Hanging from the ceiling is a very large punch bag that is currently being worked on by Big Ada. She's taken her blue coat off. She's basically wearing a vest at the moment. And she is punching away at this punching bag. She's currently got her back to you. You can see through this doorway, there are 2 others. So there are basically 3 blue coats in this area. One of them being Big Ada. And there are other rooms beyond. You can move past this door, but whether you want to try and do it sneakily or whether you just want to walk past brazenly, it's up to you, really. The 2 of you, Grimlyn and Vixen, are not going to be suspicious here, whereas Jellybean will be.
Yeah.
So how do you want to approach it, the 3 of you, to get past this doorway? Sorry, Jellybean.
Sorry. Trying to give me a heart attack. I don't know. Can we try to walk past and have Jellybean on the other side of us so that we're blocking sight of Jellybean from anyone who might look over?
Perhaps I'll stand in the doorway, clutching at my wrist, having a quick frightened glance before scurrying onwards.
Very good. I'd like someone to give me a roll here. I'll let you decide between the 3 of you which one of you it is. Either Jellybean does one for hiding or something along those lines, or whatever. I don't know. Who wants to roll?
I mean, I've got 1 in prowl, 2 in finesse, so not a lot.
Could I help Jellybean if they're going to use finesse?
That could work.
Because that's that misdirection.
Yeah, you're using the other people. That sounds good. Yeah, so take 1 stress, Vixen. And Jellybean, how would you move behind your companions? One who's currently standing in the doorway, looking absolutely frightened, and the other one is just kind of, well, helping you, getting in the way, blocking. What's Jellybean doing?
Yeah, so make sure I'm sort of quite close and angled so that Big Ada is mostly blocking. That viewpoint is blocked.
Yeah.
And try and keep it in step.
Very good. Now, yeah, give me a finesse roll then, please, with one extra d6.
Thank you.
Now,
Ooh.
oh, a 5. Very good. So, yeah, you make it past. This doorway's quite big. You scoot past behind everyone else, making sure that Big Ada, who the moment you get to the top of the stairs, her head whips round and she looks in the doorway. She's looking straight at the three of you. Well, technically, the two of you is all she can see. She snarls at you, Vixen, and says, "Don't forget, 3 minutes outside. Check for that girl. And I'll know if you don't do it." So that means your discovered clock
Aye.
is going up by 1. Sorry, Vixen.
I've stuck my head out. There's no girl there anymore. I thought you might want to know. But bye.
Wait there! She stomps over to a room. You hear a sound of someone standing on a bed and someone else going, "Oh, I'm sleeping." You hear the sound of a window getting flung open, getting slammed shut, walking back to you, sneering at you again, going, "Good work, I guess."
Thanks.
I'm gonna go back to my book. She resumes punching this punching bag. You really do not wish to be on the end of one of those fists. But there's a set of stairs that now leads up to the final doorway. You have a set of keys that may or may not work. The door, however, when you get up there, is locked.
Oh, going for the knock, are they? Okay.
Let's try the knock first.
Okay, so are you going to try saying anything or are you just going to knock?
I'd probably call out, "Inspector, I've brought your tea."
Okay, give me a roll, please.
Oh gosh, why am I doing this? I'm the worst.
Yeah, you didn't. Could have asked the sweet
Yeah.
angelic Jellybean.
Yes, should have. Okay, I get one
Hope
dice,
again.
so this is going to be fun. No pressure.
Can help.
We'll try and help if it goes.
Yeah.
bad.
If it goes wrong,
Well, you have to help ahead of time. Well, you can help if it goes
I mean,
wrong, but
I mean, with a different persuade. Like if he's,
okay.
I don't know, not persuaded when he opens the door or something, I can try and sway him. Then.
It's a
I
6,
rolled a
though.
6.
Very good. So before he opens, before the door. Sorry, Jellybean. Sorry. So where are the three of you positioned at the moment? How are the three of you arranged? It's a large doorway like the one below.
I guess me at the back at this point. I think.
Jellybean hidden.
Behind Vixen and I guess.
Yeah.
Very good. He opens the door and you see a very thin, wild-eyed man with greying hair. He looks like the sort of person that's had a very heavy, either a very he's a very easy 40s or a very heavy 30s. And he looks, I said, wild-eyed at the two of you. His hair is an absolute mess. He says, "Tea? Tea? My word, it's about time. Give it here." He just
Hand
taps
it
his. Very good. clonk.
Can I
and
take?
you hear? Oh, sorry. Yep. What would you like to do?
I'd like to have created a small sort of, almost like a business card with sort of some kind of gambling association and invitation written on the back of it,
Okay, so you're going to flash back to do that.
if that's possible.
Very good. So, yeah. Okay. What's the intention of this card? To give it to him, or?
It's to be saying sort of, we represent this group to try and get us in, sort of thing. If that became an option of we're extending an invitation, members to this highly elite gambling place that's perhaps in a higher station than him, he's being invited on.
You're going to have to give me a roll for this one.
Okay.
Now, remember, you can push yourself.
Yes.
You can, or you can have a devil's bargain.
Would be an appropriate thing to pick for this, but let's see. What would my devil's bargain be?
Well, you don't. Yeah, well, I will let you have an extra D6 for this one. But he is absolutely going to remember your face. And he is going to stop at nothing to try and find you again.
Dear.
Yeah, but is that to get the evidence back or to get in with this sweet gambling?
Most likely
A
the
little from column
gambling.
A.
If you succeed, it's the gambling. If you fail, it's you.
Okay. Yeah, let's go for it.
Brilliant. Okay.
Who's
So yeah, get an extra D6.
Study for the sort of symbols and the choreography of it, maybe.
Yeah, that sounds good.
This is not a skill I'm brilliant at. Oh dear.
Well, that's a failure. So you have a card. You've declared it. You're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You hand the card over, and he looks at it and says, "What's? Oh my word! That hand, that face, the picture of beauty. Oh, oh." I feel like, oh my word, have we met?
Perhaps not yet, but I hope for you to join us in many hands going forward.
Oh no, I've given that life up. I'm not a gambler anymore. Not now I've met you.
Instant beautiful love. There we go.
Oh well, I'm flattered. Well, could we perhaps join you for tea? My name's Irina, my dear. Attention's
Irina.
yours.
No, I mustn't. He says, pushy. He takes the tea. Sorry, he's like, I only have one cup. You must have the tea.
Well, that's what these are here for. Go send them for another cup, and they can bring it up to us while we have a get to know each other.
He's going. I mean, he completely overlooks the fact you said these. His vision of Grimlyn and Jellybean is just gone. He is, unfortunately, or fortunately, maybe this is going to work in your favor. He is completely obsessed with you now. He is saying the most ridiculous things to you right now. All PG safe, but he's that weird, that sort of very chaste Victorian-esque You set the stars on fire. I would like to take a promenade around the park with you. That sort of thing. If only I could get to know your credentials.
A step up from Big Ada, or
He turns a picture of Big Ada around. No.
well,
He wouldn't dare do that. No, so he's completely enamored with you. So he does say, well, yes, send the others down for tea and let us go into my office and converse. My life has changed.
I'm going to follow him up, but I'm giving a help me look back.
Well, what would the two of you, Jellybean and Grimlyn and Grimlyn? This man is clearly doolally for Vixen. What would the two of you like to do, Jellybean, Grimlyn?
leave him through it, I guess. Don't want to intrude on this beautiful union.
Well, looks like we've lost a member of the party. Oh well, on to the next job.
Well, no. I think Grimlyn would probably say, no problem. Why don't you take a seat in the study and leave the door open, and then we can unobtrusively bring more tea.
Or give me a.
I wouldn't want to disturb you and make you have to get back up again when you are probably having the most marvelous conversation.
I mean, I'd help, but then it's the whether like, who the hell is this poor child?
Give me a roll, please, Grimlyn. Choose one of your skills. You're a natural orator, I know.
Yeah.
You're not getting any more of that drug.
So I know what's going to happen when it goes wrong.
Yeah. I guess sway, because I'm no better with misdirection than I am with swaying people. So
I'll help. Saying I don't want to be disrupted.
So take a stress.
So who's taking a stress? Sorry.
Vixen's taking a stress. You get an extra d6, Grimlyn.
Okay.
Let's see how this goes. 5 out of 2. So, yes, one of the clocks is going to go up. Well, unfortunately, you succeed. And he says, yes, let us go into the study. And as he leads, Vixen into his office, actually. This, unfortunately, with the 5, there is a complication. The complication is he spots Jellybean. And he goes, oh, what? Who's she? She's not yours, is she? He says to Vixen.
Oh, no.
Oh, good. Come with me, my dear, he says. He says to you, Grimlyn, we're not really supposed to have children around here. Get rid of her. Put her in a cell, whatever. Kick her out the front, kick her out the back. I don't care. Get rid of her. Just get rid of her. You child. What are you doing here?
Oh, I make tea.
You make tea? Did you make this tea?
I helped.
Well, you only made 1. You didn't make 2, did you?
No, but that's why we're going to bring some more.
You better bring more. I'm so sorry, he says to you, Vixen. I must apologize. You sit there. Now, you are blue coat. Well, you're not a blue coat. You're a child. You're a blue coat. You, child, go and bring me more tea. Now. Go on, go.
I'll go.
So, Jellybean, he's waiting to basically see you go down the stairs.
Yeah. Okay.
Grimlyn, are you going to go with her, or are you going to stay up here? What do you want to do? Are you going to leave Vixen on her own? You think Vixen's going to be absolutely safe? This man is his intentions are basically to sit behind his desk and whisper sweet nonsense. Oh, sorry, proclaim sweet nonsense, but all in a
I'm
above
fairly
board.
sure Vixen, while sickened, will be fine. Whereas Jellybean having to pass some of the blue coats who are not necessarily asleep and have very large hands might need a bit more assistance. So I'll go and do that.
So, Vixen, you are led into his office and seated in a very uncomfortable chair, whereas he sits in his chair and asks you nonsense like, "So, what are your opinions?"
Oh, personally, I think long walks around a nice dusk-like days are most romantic. Wouldn't you agree?
He just sits there. He's completely enamored. Lovely. So, whilst Jellybean and Grimlyn go back downstairs to get a second cup of tea, he has left the tea. He's got the tea that you originally had, and he pushes it towards Vixen, but we'll deal with that in a minute. We go straight back up into the attic, where Barkin, Larkin, you've taken a few of the bricks out. The brickwork is crumbling. There is nothing you can do to stop the inevitable falling down of the roof. But what would you like to do? You can make the hole bigger, and it's not gonna bring it all down.
Is
But
this sort of just the roof to the pub? Or
it's going to be the connecting wall's going to fall
so
down,
this
and
is
that's going to bring.
affect-
Yeah.
Okay.
So, what would you like to do?
Swear several times.
Yep. You don't have to take off a boxer load for that.
No, and then I will carry on, sort of clearing my way so I can get through at the very
Okay.
least.
Yeah.
I'll then look at the condition of the roof of this police station to see whether there are any holes in it.
Oh, more holes than so. You basically you work to get rid of some of the bricks, and after a few minutes, you actually manage to get into the police station side, with a hole big enough, and you can step through and you can see that the roof is in a terrible state of repair. There's leaks everywhere. You can actually see that there's it's not raining at the moment, but were it to rain, you can see that there'll be leaks all over, and there are some buckets up here. There's also a hatch that looks like it leads down to the floor below, and in fact, you can hear coming up from one of the edges of the room. You can hear someone proclaiming the most absolute absurd bunk of just your hands, they look like the hands of a cheesemonger.
Wow.
Perfect. Right.
So what would you like to do?
Yeah, this has not gone the way that I anticipated.
Nor me.
I mean, I was planning on trying to attach a rope ladder to the rafters to go out of the roof, but it sounds very much like the roof's going to collapse anyway. So yeah, I think in all sensibility, I'm going to make my own escape.
Okay.
I'm going to head back. In fact, what I'll probably try and do as a little bit of a distraction is make the matters worse.
Okay.
Bring on the clock,
Release the
so that if the roof collapses, it's going to collapse down into the upper floor as potentially another distraction that might buy
Very
the
good.
others a degree of time and use to it. And then I'm going to plan to sort of just pack my stuff up and go out of the pub.
Very good.
With some obviously roaches caught, kind of indicating
Yep.
that is legitimately what I've been there doing.
Okay.
And it's a very serious problem. They've eaten through the masonry and everything. I want to try and
Okay.
get out of there before the roof actually comes down.
Very good. Well, for the roof, to make matters worse, I'd like you to give me a roll, please.
Okay.
You fix the roof.
So it's going to be a tinker again.
Oh.
No, bad. So I don't know whether I make it worse or even worse or better.
Oh, well, if you'd succeeded,
Yeah.
what would have happened was you'd have had time to get out. Enough time to get downstairs, and as you're going down, you could have said, "Oh, it's going to fall down," and it would have fell down a few minutes later. Unfortunately, the brick you decide to take out must have been the one load-bearing brick. It is the last brick in the Jenga tower, as the roof just starts to. You were aware of this, so at this present moment, you are not going to take any harm or anything. You can hightail it for the ladder going down, but the roof is coming in right now. Would you run to the hatch or?
Yeah. I'm just making it out of there.
Brilliant. Yeah. So you peg it to the hatch, and you go down the ladder. There are doors open everywhere. Everyone is just coming out, screaming at these cockroaches that are all over the place. You head straight to the doors to the stairs going down. The landlord is currently at the bottom of these stairs. He's got a large broom and he's holding it up like that to sort of go, what's going on?
You need a bigger broom, I'm going to say.
What's happened? You hear a loud. What's going on?
There's a right big bugger up there.
Oh no!
Don't worry about the coin, I say.
Oh no! There's now a large amount of dust just making its way all the way down through the thing, and this is when the rats come out, because it turns out he didn't have cockroaches, he did actually have rats. As now there is a sea of the cockroaches that you did and rats, and they're all making their way down the stairs, and he's just, oh no, and he runs out of this pub. This pub is now absolutely emptying into the street, and as you make your way out, you see that there are people wearing bed sheets, people wearing less, there are gamblers, the street is just a throng of people all trying to get out and trying to not stand on the ground as much as possible, because a lot of them are barefoot, and there's now a sea of cockroaches and rats making their way everywhere. We go back to Jellybean and Grimlyn several minutes earlier. You have been told to go downstairs and make another cup of tea.
Yeah.
What would the two of you like to do?
Are we?
I think
Or are we just?
we should make some tea, because I suspect he won't drink his tea unless
There's double
she
tea.
has.
Okay, let's go.
So
Let's make it really quick, though.
you head downstairs. You head past the room. You actually the punch bag seems to have stopped. It looks like she's Big Age is not there. Presumably she's gone to her room, maybe. You head down to the bottom floor
Oh, hello.
and you get to the kitchen. And that is where you find Big Ada. She turns around with a large. Well, she's currently got her back to you. She's at the range. There's a big kettle and there is a big mug that just says #1 Slugger on it. She is in your way. What would the two of you like to do?
I don't know whether Grimlyn would probably gesture to Jellybean to hide round the corner.
Kind of want to give her some sass.
Okay. Well, I mean, I can gesture all I like. It doesn't. I'm going to do it.
It's up to you, Jellybean.
Yeah, all right. I can't pass it up. It's too funny.
So she's
Gonna
currently
go
got her back to you. What do you
put
want
the
to do?
kettle on.
You tell her to put the kettle on.
No, I'll put the kettle on. I'm not pushing it that far.
Okay. She looks and turns slowly. She looks over at Grimlyn and she looks to Jellybean and then back to Grimlyn, back to Jellybean. I thought she was gone. But now I find her here.
The inspector has ordered me to make a tea.
The inspector's ordered you to make him a tea.
He has.
Well then, little girl. Let's see you make it, little un. And she stands in front of the range and she doesn't look like she's going to move. She just folds her arms. It's like, go on then. Make him a tea.
Okay. I mean, you haven't got an Argos or anything, but it'll do, I suppose.
She is currently, there is no easy way for you to put the kettle on the range.
Pull up a stool
Okay.
so that I can reach like round.
You need a very big stool, maybe a ladder to reach over the top of a ladder and a rope. She is completely blocking your way. I mean, you risk burning yourself. You could try it. You'd have to give me a roll, though.
Grimlyn's going to be super apparently condescending and say, and completely not talking to the other person, but just talking to Jellybean, and say, there, don't get upset. I'm sure he won't mind too much if he has to wait a little bit longer. I know he said as quickly as possible, and I know you're going to do your best, and it's not your fault if people don't understand what the inspector needs and when he needs it, and how angry he's going to be if he doesn't get his tea on time, and how some people might not, still have a job if things happen. And it won't be on you.
Cold tea will be just fine while he's busy having his nice little office meeting or whatever he's doing. Don't worry, Big Ada, it's fine.
Yeah, I'm not going to make you roll that because I think that those are both excellent.
Fighting words.
She says, yeah, Big Ada folds her arms. Looks to Jellybean, looks to you, Grimlyn. Her lip curls, and she just stands to the side. Make him his tea, then. Make him his damn tea.
Chat with that other new recruit. Seems very taken.
Oh, he's pathetic. Well, since my fresh meat has now become his favourite, I'm going to need some new fresh meat. And his eyes round on Grimlyn. I hope you know how. Look, I hope you know how to box.
I'm sure it won't get to that.
Oh, friendly sparring. I just needs an opponent. How's about tomorrow?
Why not?
I gotta go practice. And you, he says, pointing at Jellybean, if I sees you put one toe out of line, little miss. Oh. Yeah. And she leers at you as she stalks out of the room. And she points at Grimlyn and goes, tomorrow. I needs a good workout.
You seem very tense.
So
I mean, she's
tempted to for something slightly too loud. Jellybean.
it's your choice.
Let's go. Let's take the tea while we're on a high.
She heads upstairs though, and you hear her. You actually hear her with renewed focus start hammering away at that punching bag. I mean, she's very good punch wise, but her footwork is awful. So, you make a tea. Do you make a good tea or a bad tea, Jellybean? How do you mean you don't make? You've probably never made a tea in your life.
I don't know.
I'm
Tea's
making a
so
fortune
painful.
roll. You have never made a tea in your life, Jellybean.
I've watched the servants make it.
No, you haven't. You don't
Tasted
look at the
it.
help. Right. What you have is a cup of brown. There
Grimlyn
are
knows how to do it. I don't actually have to do it myself.
I'll make sure that the tea is actually drinkable, so that if
Okay.
Vixen actually has to drink any, she doesn't expire from.
Yeah. You have a cup of. You make it into a cup of tea. What Jellybean made was leaves in water that hadn't been strained, and there was a touch too much sugar in there, given that it was at its saturation point.
Well, that's the perfect amount.
But with your tea, you can head straight back upstairs. And the scene is as follows. When you get there, Vixen, he's been continuing to say absolute bibble to you. He's an absolute, absolute idiot. Head over heels in his own world. But 2 cups of tea are presented, but you have had the drugged tea pushed towards you.
I would like to take a look at it. Does it look as if it's got some kind of milk in it?
Yes, it does, yeah.
Let's see. Oh, well, thank you very much. You are such a gentleman, but I'm afraid I can't have milk. It just disagrees with me a bit. I'll wait for the other one, but please just don't wait on my account. Tell me more about your job.
Oh well, it's such an important job, and but he's still. I mean, he sees that you aren't drinking your tea, but he has got hit the new one that's been made, and he looks at it. He says, "Well, this one doesn't have milk in." I mean, I suppose I could be a gentleman and let you have this one.
You'd do that for me?
Oh, yes, of course. Yes, of course. Yes. He takes the tea with the milk in, and looks at it now. It's stone cold, mushroom milk drugged tea. Because there's no cows here. There aren't goats. But they can't afford goat's milk. No. This milk is made from mushrooms, and you don't ask how. He doesn't look like he's going to drink it, though. It's sort of... You enjoy your tea.
Is there something wrong with yours? I'd feel awful if it was just me drinking alone. A lady should never drink on her own, don't you know, sir?
He takes it and just... Oh, yeah, delicious.
Jelly clap.
Well, and he just flunks forwards onto the desk. At this point, through a hole in the ceiling, dropping into the tea you've got, a little friendly face that then crawls out of the cup and scuttles away.
Oh, we spent so long making that.
You hear,
Oh.
what was that, Jellybean?
We put all effort into making that tea.
It's still drinkable, believe me. That's not the worst thing that's happened to those leaves in Doskvol. Again, most tea is made from mushrooms as well.
Yeah, but we didn't look at those things happening.
You hear a very loud crunch and crumbling of masonry. Through the holes in the ceiling, a load of dust comes down, and you see a number of cockroaches scuttling through to try and escape whatever is going on in the ceiling. The whole building shakes as this roof just starts to collapse in. You don't have long, but you do see the safe in this room.
Do we know how to get in the safe?
I think you're our best safe expert.
Right. I was going to try it the nice way, but given expediency, I'm going to use primed small explosives strategically placed to open the door rather than trying to actually sort of pick it / kind of open it normally.
Very good. So give me a roll.
Have a truncheon while that's happening.
He does have a truncheon, yeah.
Oh, I'll have that.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to try and wreck it.
Now, I will remind you, Vixen, that the inspector will now stop at nothing to try and find you again.
Like Cinderella.
Like to look on his desk for some stationery and write on the note a location and a time
Oh,
with a little heart next to it.
You can find in the wreckage.
I love it. I love it.
How much stress can I take before it becomes trauma? Is it
9.
8?
9.
Okay. I'm going to push myself then.
Okay.
Because we're under pressure of getting buried.
Yeah.
I can help if it's something I can help with.
Yeah. So yeah, Jellybean take an extra d6 and take an extra stress, and Grimlyn take an extra d6.
Okay.
Oh, 5 and 4s. Well, that's going to increase the discovered clock to 3 out of 4 because there is a very loud bang as the front of this safe explodes. Takes it clean off the hinges. But you have access to the inside. And inside, there are bundles of papers. At the moment, you probably don't have time to look through what's what. But there's just a whole lot of paperwork in here. So you can either take time, find the right ones you want, or just take the lot.
Yep.
Cool. So you grab the bundles. Where are you going? You're just heading straight out the normal way?
We head down the normal way,
How
drag him,
obvious?
pull the masonry, hit him. We need to get out.
It is obvious that the building is shaking. So
You're going to try and get him out.
Well, it gives us a cover to get out if he got hit by something while we were having our conversation. Of course, loyal Bluecoats need to get their commander out.
Indeed.
So are you going to carry him out then?
Yep, took that little card into his pocket and let's try and carry him out.
Very good.
I'm going to smear my hands with some of the dust from the bricks and stuff and kind of smear it on him and on his coat to make it look like something's kind of... Yeah.
Very good. So the three of you head downstairs covered in muck. Barkin, Larkin, from outside, you see the majestic destruction of a roof collapsing down. You see top floors, just some of the windows blow out in the pub. You see dust come out of open windows. There's a lot of shouting. There's a lot of confusion. It doesn't look like it goes down any more floors, but the roof is sort of just completely collapsing in on itself. People are screaming and shouting. As I said, there's people out about naked or clothed. Are you hanging around here, Larkin, or are you going off somewhere? Oh yeah, mic's up.
I think I'm sort of with the landlord at the moment. I'm lighting him up a rolly, passing him on.
He's just
I know someone that could probably help you out with that.
Do you?
Just
good.
Great.
Oh, you know what? When you first walked in, I thought you might have been a real curse to this pub, but I mean, you've turned out to be a blessing in disguise. I mean,
it's better to deal with the problem now than find out about it later, eh?
If I'd gone up there and met whatever that thing was that's done all that, that would have, I'd have lost a leg if I were lucky.
A giant radar.
He takes the roll over. Oh, bloody! What is in that?
Roach dung. It's good for you.
Do you have more? And at this point, you can either deposit the commander downstairs, the inspector downstairs, or the three of you can all come out with him. It looks like a few of the blue coats are leaving the building as well now to take a look at the building. So, what does Barkin Larkin see when Grimlyn, Jellybean, and Vixen come out of the front door?
I think for such a fine gentleman, we need to bring him outside of danger.
What about you, Grimlyn?
If that's what Vixen wants, I mean, Grimlyn would have been in favour of just leaving him in the lobby, but like, if that's what Vixen wants, that's what Vixen gets.
Well, and as you go down through the lobby, you do notice that Big Ada is currently trying to wake people up. Come on, wake up! We've got to get out. The building's coming down. But for some reason, she's not able to wake people up. I wonder why.
She's tough, isn't
What she eventually does as she starts to sort of try and get the desk sergeant over her arms, and she bursts out the front door shortly after you, deposits the desk sergeant and the knife man on the ground, as well as then coming back with the other man. Some of the other ones that were actually asleep, they've now woken up and are walking their way out. And Big Ada comes over towards you, Vixen, to try and get the inspector off you. She says, I think you should hand the inspector over to me right now.
That's fine. Get him down on his head. Make sure he gets looked at. I'm not looking for any trouble.
Well, that's good, because I think it's best if the two of you had another transfer. I don't care where it is. I don't care where you go. I don't want to see you round here again.
Okay.
She takes the inspector off you. And goes back to the rest of the gang. And leaving the four of you, the four of you in kind of the same area. You can see Larkin, you can see them. There's quite a scene out here, Jellybean. Let's just say for you, it's going to be an education. there's a lot of cockroaches and rats, and you'll have never seen those before. Not where you live.
No, it's disgusting.
Mm.
This place is dreadful. Oh, let's go.
So, where do you all head? Do you go back to the theatre, or are you going to go somewhere else first and regroup in a more hospitable setting without the blue coats on?
Perhaps. I
Figure
believe
some
we have a ticket to a free meal at a lovely restaurant in Charterhall.
Yes, you do. You do indeed. Well then, that's where you find yourselves. A couple of hours later, Larkin, have you cleaned yourself up, or are you still just as heavily laden with cockroaches as you were before?
I would have got rid of my heavy load out, obviously, if I was going for a meal, but I'm by no means clean or tidy. I don't know
Very
the
good.
meaning of that.
So, yes, you all go to this lovely meal in Charterhall. And you can have any conversations you want to have at the table. Is there any sort of anything you want to do? You've got this bundle of papers. What would you like to do?
I think someone needs to go through them just to see A, if we've got what we need to claim the coin, but B, to see if there's anything else of any interest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you do have a number of essentially signed witness statements, which is enough for evidence in Doskvol at times. Enough signed witness statements that state that people witnessed the Skylarks killing Lars. So we're going to arrest based on that. Other things that was in that bundle, you can go through and will come out in time. But the thing that the thing that kind of stands out to you is that there's a lot of different things here with affecting people of all echelons of society. The waiter appears at the table. They're aware, obviously, you're getting this meal for free, so they've been mildly inattentive.
Make sure to be suitably rich at them. And I don't mean give them money, I mean be
No,
like,
I know.
pillage.
Yeah, that's the reason why you've got any attention at all. This is probably a restaurant you've been to, Jellybean, and they call you Miss Jellica.
Yes.
And they turn up, and the waiter turns up. Actually, the maitre d' turns up, who normally doesn't do this sort of thing, and says, Miss Jellica and company?
Yes.
I have a message for you. Arrived just now. Would you like me to read it out for you, or would you like me to hand it over and leave?
Was it?
Best if you hand it over, thank you.
Very good. And he's got a silver tray, and he takes an envelope off a tray and gives it to you.
Mm-hmm.
Was it one of Mr. Lazarus's party?
Open it, I guess. And
The sender did not vouchsafe to me who they were. They arrived at the front of the restaurant and then have left.
Very well.
well, thank you.
And yeah, you get this letter. And it says inside, and as you look at the front, you see, as you open it out, there's no indication of who it was from until you open it. And there's just the seal of the Eclectic Six at the top. And it says, we clearly haven't been watching you closely enough. Rest assured, however, we will now be giving you our full attention. Signed, The Heart.
Oh, dreadful. We're just trying to have a nice dinner here.
And so, that is where we're going to leave it for tonight. Congratulations, everybody. You have done the job. You have got yourself 6 coin. The Bluecoats were very, very, very happy that you completed the job. So you get the coin. You get some experience.
I get some time off work because the whole place is gone.
No, well, actually, you do increase your standing with the Bluecoats as well. Not by a whole point, but by if you do another good thing for them, you will increase your standing with them again. You are on the side of the law. Ooh, doesn't feel right, does it? But okay, it's okay. It's the law in Doskvol, and that's whatever anyone says it's going to be.
I mean, if collapsing their building and blowing away into their safe and stealing evidence counts as being on the side of the law, then sure.
Well, you're on the side of the Bluecoats themselves, and yes. So, thank you very much for playing, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. That was good. And if you've watched it, I hope you really enjoyed watching it. I'm now, as always, going to hand over to Andy.
Yeah, thank you, Kristian. Had a blast as always. It's always good fun to play in these games, especially with you as Master of Ceremony. As usual, quickly going to go around table, asking people what their best bits were. Starting off with you, Sarah.
I think I like the way that it almost looked like we had a perfect plan and it worked. Everything kind of came together. I love it when it does that.
Yeah, no, it's good, and I'm guessing now we can use this leverage, like you said, to move against our boys and girls as well. So tying it all together very nicely. Kyle, same question to you.
I think the inspector's reaction, I was completely taken off guard with that.
You got yourself a stalker. It'd be interesting to see whether it stays sweet or whether it turns sour at some point. It is the way of love. True love. I went a bit Disney then. Rachel.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Sarah that, yeah, we all kind of were working our way through this house with seemingly random roach stuff happening and then just collapsing at the right time. But I mean, I enjoy giving this last Big Ada was a suitably funny character to antagonize. We just about got away with it, apart from poor Vixen getting a bit crushed. I feel she's wasted in the Bluecoats. So it was good fun to like move together through the building, I think, and see how we got through each bit.
It was definitely entertaining to watch and be part of. Kristian, same question to you.
Ooh, I enjoyed the planning, watching you plan, because I really didn't know what you were going to do with this situation, because I thought one thing was going to happen, and then you went to a completely different place, and then a different place again, and then came back to something akin to what I thought was going to happen. So, yeah, it was a great roller coaster for me as all the different scenarios starting tumbling through my head of what's going to happen here, because I really don't know. So yeah, I quite like that. That's my favorite bit.
Yeah, one of the great strengths of the system, really, isn't it? Is that you are thrown in the middle of the action and using flashbacks and everything else. You piece together the heist, so you start off in the middle of it all. Yeah, very, very
You
cool.
did. How about yourself, Andy?
Yeah, just watching the three of them move through the house was an absolute delight and joy. Yeah, absolutely.
I always like to find out as well what you've got in your load,
Yeah, well,
because
it's always
you
best
go
to-
heavy load,
Yeah.
and I never know what it's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, fundamentally, it might not have worked out for me because I literally wrote down jar of cockroaches, cockroach trap, etc., a big ladder, because my intention was trying to get a back way out if the clock had basically been discovered, so you couldn't make your way out of the building. My intention was giving you a back route out so you wouldn't have to go back down through the building. But my luck wasn't there, and the whole building came down again. So
It was just the roof this time.
yeah, this time.
Yeah.
But I think it's good, rather than in some of the systems maybe thinking, oh well, I'll try my luck and I'm going to put the ladder down anyway. I think in this system it falls really good into going, no, this has gone badly wrong. I'm going to do something else instead. But very, very enjoyable. Great story, great characterization with all the NPCs and everybody else. And I kind of also just like chilling with the locals as well, right? Like the poor landlord. Genuinely felt kind of a little sorry for him. It's like, awkward.
I'm just glad you didn't ask his name.
Yeah. No, but super good fun. And I'm going to ask always, are you happy to come back and run the next one at some point?
As long as you're all happy to keep playing, I'm happy to keep running it.
Fantastic stuff. No, we'll schedule that as soon as we can, as usual. So, as always, then, thank you everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed playing it, and watch out for the next one. But for now, good night from all of us. Goodbye.